It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. And joining me in the studio on this very special Juneteenth in the WB broadcast, we have Executive Director of the Educational Equity and Inclusion for West Bloomfield Schools, Sonia James, joining us. Thank you so much. How are you feeling on this Juneteenth?
I'm feeling great. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited about today.
Absolutely. We got a lot to talk about, and we have a very special broadcast for you today with two of our Splash Live reporters broadcasting at two different locations. We have our very own Jake Schaff and Thais Leverett broadcasting at both the Recreation Activity Center and the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Jake Schaff, how's it looking at the rack?
Kevin, Sonia, good morning. Everything is looking great today. It is going to be a very exciting afternoon coming up. As you can see, the stage is literally set behind me at the Recreation Activity Center right here in West Bloomfield. Lots of fun performances, lots of fun activities in just a couple short hours. This parking lot, although empty now, is going to be full to the brim, and it's going to be a lot of fun today.
That's what I'm talking about, Jay. We're expecting a lot of activity today at both locations, including the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, where Thais Leverett is broadcasting. How's it looking where you are, Thais?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Super excited again to be here today. In addition to the activities that are going to take place at the stage, later on in the library, there will be some educational opportunities for kids to learn a little bit more about Juneteenth. So we're looking forward to a great afternoon.
Yes, that's good to hear and see from our locations that we're broadcasting live from. It's a lot to take on today at the Juneteenth Jamboree all across West Bloomfield today, and we'll have a lot of information and things coming at you, including some interviews, and we're expecting a lot of education today too, right, Sonia?
I am sure there's going to be a lot of great information for us all to learn and walk away with this afternoon, as well as some good entertainment, food, excitement, just a big jamboree.
Now, what does Juneteenth mean to you personally?
To me personally, I really have to reflect on that, and I know we have to keep our responses a little short, but to me, it just signifies that freedom, that liberation for our forefathers and our ancestors, and just to think that some of us are not so far removed from that in terms of generations, our parents and those things. So to be able to honor, to celebrate, and acknowledge this day, I think is huge for me personally.
Absolutely. Yes. Feeling the exact same way. I feel like it's a great thing that we have the West Bloomfield Township participating in such a great celebration, Juneteenth, celebrating diversity and culture right here in our communities. And we actually do have a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force joining us live here on the Splash at the Recreation Activity Center with Jake Schaff. Jake Schaff, who do we have with you today?
Kevin, right now I have Diversity Task Force member Vincent Kirkwood standing with me today. Vincent, good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Lovely day today. Going to be a lot of exciting things coming up. Let's get into it. What does Juneteenth mean to you personally?
Absolutely. So Juneteenth to me is a day of celebration, a day of jubilee. It marks the official day that all African Americans were known that they were free. There were times when we didn't know that we were free, but we were. But Juneteenth is the day that the last slaves knew that they were free to go about and be free citizens in the United States. So it was great.
Hey, Vincent, Vincent, I don't know if you can hear us back in the studio, but just wanted to ask you a question. As a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, can you share the process and the goals behind actually organizing this Juneteenth Jamboree?
What are the processes of organizing this Jamboree?
So the Diversity Task Force set this Jamboree up, and it was a couple of months standing where we were able to get entertainers. We were able to reach out to sponsors, members of the community, to let them know about our Juneteenth celebration. And everyone that we talked to was on board. Henry Ford Health, Hungry Howie's Pizza, 44 Scoops. Everyone was fantastic in being able to participate today.
And how do you feel about the community's response to the Juneteenth Jamboree over the years?
So over the years, the Diversity Task Force was founded in 2020 by myself as a founder and the chairman. But prior to that, we're not really aware that the community in West Bloomfield was doing a lot for Juneteenth. So when it became a national holiday, we began to enforce the fact that there was a Juneteenth celebration that needed to happen because our community is so diverse, and we thought that it would be a great idea.
Absolutely. Lots of great things for the community. And what do you hope the community takes away from this event today?
Today is a day of celebration. So we're hoping that the community comes, celebrates. And honestly, a lot of people don't know what Juneteenth is. I've had several questions over the years around this time. What is Juneteenth? What does it mean? And we're hoping to share information about Juneteenth. We're hoping to share knowledge and understanding of what Juneteenth means and what happened and what it is. So we're hoping that people can come away with a day of celebration, but also a day of knowledge and learning what Juneteenth means.
A lot of great things. Vincent, thank you so much for your time. Lots and lots of great things to be had today here, Kevin. I mean, I think we're in for a lot of fun here today. What do you think?
No, it seems like a great thing. We want to thank Vincent Kirkwood and the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force for putting this entire thing together and thinking about representing the culture for the Black community right here in the West Bloomfield community. Great interview, by the way, Jake Schaff at the Recreation Activity Center on Juneteenth and the WB Jamboree going on. And Sonia, we're talking about such a great event, like we said, that's not just open or just exclusive, I should say, to the African American community, but it's open to everyone to understanding what Juneteenth is about.
And that's that inclusivity in terms of when we think about how diverse we are as a West Bloomfield community, we also think about what we share with each other, because there's so many different ethnic groups that we can learn and grow from each other. And this Juneteenth event is just one of the many celebrations that we have, and give that opportunity for others to gain insight about who we are as a people as we continue to learn and grow.
Absolutely. And we have so much to learn about Juneteenth and everything that's going on with the Juneteenth Jamboree, Juneteenth, and the WB events going on. And join us right here on the Splash Live, talking about a writing workshop that will be provided by Undivided Incorporated. We have National Facilitator and Michigan Civic Engagement Director for Undivided, Stephanie Kreider, joining us on the Splash. Thank you so much for joining us, Stephanie.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes. Now, first and foremost, Stephanie, just talk about what led you into wanting to do this writing workshop for the Juneteenth Jamboree.
Absolutely. Actually, I am a member of the West Bloomfield Social Justice Committee, and we had a lengthy conversation about what would be the most relevant way that we can talk about Juneteenth and talk about modern times and what we feel we can contribute to our local community. And so there's been a lot of conversation about the power of story and civic engagement. And as we were talking about this theme of the power of story, I said, you know what? I'm providing free training across the state of Michigan right now for Undivided. And with that initiative, we are helping people to feel empowered by discovering their own story. And so we thought it would be a great fit for Juneteenth, because storytelling has been a part of the African American tradition for forever.
And I'm so glad that you take the initiative to want to be involved and give this free workshop for this Juneteenth Jamboree here in West Bloomfield. Can you talk about the theme of the power of story and why you feel like it's relevant to Juneteenth?
Absolutely. So I happen to be someone who grew up, and there's a rich tradition, in terms of my family coming from down south, and We all know the history of the South and integration, and it really helped shape me in terms of who my parents are, who my grandparents are. But I really missed out on those opportunities to be able to sit, at my grandparents' feet, if you will, and be able to hear these powerful stories of, what shaped them, what created their character, why they were doing what they were doing. I didn't have those opportunities, and I always craved that. And I heard people talking about the oral tradition, right? That's passed down through history in the Black community. And so when I think about Juneteenth, I can't help but think about the stories that were passed down from people, who were emancipated, who found out that they had already been free and didn't know, and what that story, how that's retold today. And so, what an empowering story to share with that family. But what would it be for families today? If they were to understand their own history, if they were to understand what their own families overcame. And then bring it fast forward today when we're looking at increasing civic engagement in Michigan in 2024. How do we go from like the 1865, 1964 stories to 2024 stories?
Right.
And that means you and I, right? And so, what are some of the challenges that we've actually overcome? What are the choices that we made to get the outcomes of what we see today? And what we find is that people leave the workshop feeling fired up, feeling inspired, and learning so much about themselves that they never thought about before.
I love to hear that, Stephanie, and you hit on a lot of great points, especially about reaching out to relatives to tell their story. And joining us here on the Splash Live, National Facilitator and Michigan Civic Engagement Director for Undivided Incorporated and a member of the Social Justice Committee, Stephanie Kreider, on the Splash Live, talking about her workshop that she'll be giving at the Juneteenth Jamboree.
All right, and Stephanie, I do have a question for you. When I hear, just like you used to say, there's so much great information. How do we bring that art into the schools? How do we do something like that so that not only within the community at large, but we bring that into our schools, that art of storytelling, and get our students interested in sitting at the feet of their grandparents or aunts and uncles, because I too come from the South, and I truly believe, that the art of that storytelling is so powerful. How do we spread that?
I love that question, Sonia, and I appreciate it, especially coming from you, because I know you work so hard in our school system to make sure that all students are included. And what I'll say is that this is an activity that is for all kids. That's the beauty of what Undivided does. And this could be implemented not only in history classes, not only in writing courses, but how can we include this in math and science and other areas? Because part of what I think students have said to me and other advocates over the years is that we want to see ourselves in the stories, right? We want to be represented in what we're learning. And so, how do we do that? Undivided has this heart shape that I absolutely love. And that heart shape talks about identity, relationships, and action. And so, if we think about it through that framework, right? What is the identity of the student? And then how can we incorporate that into the curriculum that we're sharing in our classrooms, in our clubs, in any activity that we have, right? What is their identity? How do we help them to be able to articulate that? And when you help students do that through this activity, then they will establish better relationships with each other. Because what happens is that once I hear your story, you hear my story, we find a common ground. And then there's a bond that begins to develop. And sometimes, if we find out there's something that's different, maybe my values are slightly different than yours, or your lived experience is very different than mine, we find a way to still find common ground, and what we call in Undivided, lean in with curiosity. So, I may not have had that experience in my life. So can you tell me a little bit more about what that experience was like for you? That's how we see this play out for adults across the country. I would love to see that happen in the classroom with students. And the last part of that heart shape is once we have those relationships, that's how we shift into action. And when we've had an opportunity to get to know each other, understand who we are, that helps us to work in a collaborative way to do action inside our schools, inside our workplace, and inside our communities as well.
Solid point, solid point. And it takes effort. It takes the entire community to kind of put that effort towards, especially for the youth and the younger generation also. So thank you for providing that insight. Yes. One last thing before we let you go, if you don't mind, Stephanie, just give people another overview of the writing workshop that you will be providing for the Juneteenth Jamboree today in West Bloomfield.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. So let me say, Undivided, you can learn more at undivided.us. And Undivided is an organization that focuses on racial healing, racial solidarity, and racial justice. And we are available nationwide. There are cohorts, there are workshops. And what I'm doing is providing a mini version of a workshop that Undivided provides. It is called The Power of Story. And so what we would like to do is bring you into the room. I'm actually sitting in the classroom right now that's in the Parks and Rec department. And when you come, I have a handout that you will be able to work on. There's some silent time where you will be able to reflect on this guided workshop activity. There's a time when you would engage with a small group at your table. And it's a powerful experience to reflect on your life and the outcomes and how you can use that to leverage your power today. Martin Luther King Jr. describes power as the ability to achieve purpose. And we are aiming to help people achieve their purpose in their own lives, for their families, and for their community. And so that's what we're going to do today, and we're excited.
Oh, and good luck today, too, by the way, Stephanie. We want to thank you again for joining us. Thank you so much for your time. And we hope everyone goes out there and check out your writing workshop today from the national facilitator and Michigan Civic Engagement Director for Undivided and a member of the Social Justice Committee, Stephanie Kreider. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you. See you all soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great information that she gave, again, Sonia, about the workshop, about the importance of storytelling in general when it comes to Juneteenth, when it comes to history in general, and reaching out to the members in your own family, the older seniors and elders, to get your own personal history behind that also.
Absolutely. I have an aunt. She's 99 years old. October 4th, she'll be 100. We, as a family, are compiling her stories because the history and the experiences that she's had, we want that to live on. My mom's the youngest of 14, and we have everyone that's in their 90s. My mom is reaching her 90s. So there's a lot of stories right there. And I truly can't wait to speak more with Stephanie to speak more with her.
Yeah. No, that's great to hear. Yeah, and that's what we say. It's the importance of reaching back out to your relatives and find out exactly what's going on in the community. So kind of keeping things moving forward and talking about exactly what's going on live on location, West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Thais joining us. Thais, how's everything looking?
It's still looking great over here. We're excited again for the activities that will take place in the library later today. I'm sure you all have had a great conversation about the history and heritage and what Juneteenth means. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in here later on, giving people more information and some education about the importance of this holiday, and also starting very early. So the first activity will start at 11 o'clock, and that's for the kids. They'll have a story time about Juneteenth. They'll be able to do a craft. And later on in the afternoon, there'll be a whole community conversation and some more history being shared about what Juneteenth means to our community.
Beautiful, beautiful. Are you starting to see a line pile up by any chance? How's the weather looking outside? Paint a picture for us a little bit more.
So far right now, people are starting to trickle in. I think the activity will be building up progressively as each hour gets closer to the beginning of the event. And the weather Thank you for asking. Right now, it's fantastic. I know later on today we're expecting some very hot temperatures, but we'll also have 44 scoops here serving ice cream, so I think that will help things out a little bit.
Yes.
Ooh, that sounds great. A lot to look forward to in West Bloomfield as we all celebrate Juneteenth and the WB with the Juneteenth Jamboree. Thank you again for your information, Thais, and we will be reporting back to you very, very soon to check in with you.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we got a lot going on. We're reporting live from 2 different locations, Sonia. And Juneteenth and the WB, like we said, very, very important for the community. And we're just not only including the African-American community, but everyone else to kind of learn about everything that's going on, but also have fun, though, right?
Absolutely. That is. We want you to learn, but most importantly, we want you to come out, have fun. It is a great family experience. So everyone, if you're sitting in your beds, laying down, and you're just thinking about, what am I going to do today? Head on over.
Yep. And like we said, we are reporting live from both the West Bloomfield Township Public Library as well as the Recreation Activity Center, where we have our very own reporter, the Splash Live's Jake Shaft, that will be reporting live and keeping us updated with everything going on right there as well. But we have so much more to keep you updated with. We are live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh, on this very special Juneteenth and the WB celebration and broadcast. Joining me in the studio, we have Executive Director of the Educational Equity and Inclusion for West Bloomfield School District, Sonia James. How are you feeling as we continue through this Juneteenth celebration today?
Man, just listening to Stephanie and hearing from Vincent, I'm super excited about all the activities and the learning that's going to take place today. So I'm getting hyped with each interview. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. And we have more perspectives and more to get into as we join Jake Shaft from the Splash Live out at the Recreation Activity Center. And who are you joined with today, Jake?
Evan, we're running into everybody today. I am here with another member of the task force, Nicole Bostic. Nicole, how are you today?
I'm doing well today. Thank you. It's a very good day. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth to you as well. And a lot of stuff has gone into planning today. Can you talk about the planning process and your role with Juneteenth?
Well, I'm one, as a resident, it's something I celebrate. And I've been celebrating it, and which is kind of different because I didn't grow up celebrating it. So I'm glad we're bringing education into our community about the value of this holiday. And especially with a growing population, we've been planning this, it goes out about a year. about a year. So we started planning last year.
Wow, that's crazy. An entire year goes into planning this, but it's just to make the event even more special for when the day comes. Now, how do you think the event has helped in educating the community about the importance of Juneteenth?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate. We're trying to provide not just having this in our community, but we're actually mimicking what all happens in our sister communities, Farmington Hills, Southfield, not only Detroit, Northville, Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham. They all have celebrations, and we want ours to be nice and fabulous in a West Bloomfield way.
Absolutely. Got to put your own personal spin on everything. Now, what about the public's reaction to an event like this? I'm sure that they're over the moon with the festivities that come every year.
Well, this is one of many celebrations that we have. We have Juneteenth. We have the Black Expo in February. I'm working on the committee for Health Expo, also for next year. We have Meet Your Neighbor coming up. So it's just one of the things that we value about being in this community and having these events, and residents do show up.
Yes, absolutely. And it's great that they do. And it's great to see this event grow more and more every year. And I want to look to the future a little bit. How do you hope to see an event like this grow in the future, in the years to come?
Well, hopefully this space will be too small for the event, and we have to find another place, like maybe the high school or maybe the middle school, or maybe just a bigger place to host it. That's my my wish, my intention for being on this committee and seeing this event grow. Especially have more kids turn out for this event. West Bloomfield has about 45% African American student population, and of course, schools are dismissed right now. So hopefully this will be such a great educational opportunity for everyone in this community to see, and maybe from neighboring communities as well.
Absolutely. I hope that all of that happens, and I hope to see this event grow. Nicole, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. And thank you for covering this and bringing light to this. So I appreciate it. The community appreciated it. And this is a collaboration of West Bloomfield Library, West Bloomfield Parks, Oakland County Parks, and part of the task forces that go into making this an amazing celebration. So I hope all will come out and attend this year. We'll see you next year.
Absolutely. Let's hope that everyone shows up to this event and makes it as special as it could possibly be. Kevin?
Absolutely. And thank you again for that story, Jake, and for that interview with a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, Nicole Bostic joining us here on the Splash live at the Recreation Activity Center, by the way, which we will be broadcasting live there, as well as the West Bloomfield Public Township Library. We have a lot more in store for you right here. In studio, joining us right now, Sonia James from the Executive Director for the Educational Equity and Inclusion West Bloomfield School District. So far, we're learning a lot from our different interviews and our different guests. Anything stand out to you personally so far?
You know what stands out to me personally? I am still so interested in that writing workshop. I can't wait to get over there to learn more about the art of storytelling that Stephanie Kreider brought to us. And, just the work that Vincent and Nicole have put into the planning with the Diversity Task Force, because this is a huge undertaking. And I'm a part of the Diversity Task Force, but they really put a lot of time and effort into this. So
Absolutely.
The whole thing, the day in of itself, stands out to me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We have so much going on, so many different perspectives regarding this very, very special day. As a matter of fact, we're going to get the perspective of another West Bloomfield resident to join us right here on the Splash Live. We have Daryl Reed, a West Bloomfield resident, joining us right here to tell us about his experience and perspective of Juneteenth. Thank you so much for joining us. And first and foremost, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. And hi, Sonia. How are you doing? It's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah.
This is our third annual Juneteenth celebration in West Bloomfield. And last year, I had the honor of being the chair of the committee, working with so many great people in West Bloomfield. And we're continuing that this year. I think you already know the date, but just make sure it's today from 10 to 2. It's a celebration of the African American culture. It's going to be at the Civic Center and the West Bloomfield Library, which is on Walnut Lake Road. The event is being made possible by our title sponsor, Henry Ford Health of West Bloomfield, and is in collaboration and partnership with the West Bloomfield Park Diversity Task Force, as Sonia mentioned, the West Bloomfield Library, and the West Bloomfield Social Justice Committee, chaired by Amy Mandel, and with Henry Ford Health as our leading sponsor. Juneteenth really has a lot of historical perspective, and it really started when President Lincoln issued the preliminary Emancipation Proclamation in the middle of the Civil War on September 22nd, 1862, declaring that if rebels did not end the fighting and rejoin the Union, all enslaved people in the Confederacy would be freed on the first day of the year, which was January 1st, 1863. Lincoln issued the final proclamation on that date. But unfortunately, it was really 2.5 years later when all slaves, especially those 250,000 slaves in Texas, became aware that they were free when the Union Army came into Texas, Galveston. So there's a lot of cultural history related to that in the celebration and the acknowledgement that we were equal as other U.S. citizens. Juneteenth acknowledges the truth. Our nation's history is about realizing the idea that America was founded on, and that it is all people are created equal and diverse and deserve to be treated equally throughout their lives. So that's a little bit historical perspective. But as Sonia was talking about, there's really a lot of exciting activity coming up today. The storytelling.
Right.
Storytelling is a critical part because back during those days, 1862, 63, during the Civil War, in that period, African Americans were not permitted to learn how to read. So storytelling played a key role in continuing the history and traditions of the African American community. I think Sonia probably mentioned about the storytelling. It's free activities for kids. There's an event at the library right next to the center, storytelling for kids, and also arts and crafts for them to play with. And then there's an adult component to the program at 1 p.m. at the meeting room at the library.
If you don't mind me, sorry to cut you off, Mr. Reed.
Sure.
But just joining us on the Splash Live right now, member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force and West Bloomfield resident Daryl Reed, just talking about the different experiences, different things at the Juneteenth Jamboree, and just his personal feelings about Juneteenth here. So I just want to know, what do you want ultimately the younger generation to take away from this Juneteenth Jamboree event?
Well, the important thing is that we build bridges of mutual respect and understanding among the various cultures in Oakland County and the surrounding area. As you know, West Bloomfield is a very diverse community, and it's an opportunity for people to just come out, celebrate, get to know each other. It's not just an African American event. It's actually inviting everyone in the area to come join us, learn a little bit more about the Juneteenth history, our culture, and have fun and enjoy each other. I think a younger generation can learn more about the history of the country. As you know, there's attempts to ban books and prevent people from learning about the history. And this is important that people continue the traditions and understand and respect each other's culture.
I think everybody's story when it comes to when they first learned about Juneteenth or found out what it was is different. What was your story or your experience about when you first found out about what Juneteenth actually was?
Well, unfortunately, like a lot of people, I only really found out the details about Juneteenth in the last 5 to 10 years. So it was an addition to my cultural education and learning. And I think all kids need to appreciate Juneteenth as well as we appreciate other cultures as well. So that was an important thing to me, especially since my family were slaves and we still own some of the property that the slave master had back in the 1800s, 1860, etc. In fact, people are trying to buy the property, but I refuse to sell it because of the attachment to my family and the culture in Juneteenth.
All right.
So it's very personal to me.
Gotta respect that. Gotta respect that 100%. And we thank you again for coming on the show. Any last messages that you want to get out to the community about Juneteenth or the Juneteenth Jamboree event today?
Well, come out, celebrate, have fun, bring the kids with you. It's a family event. It's open to everyone. We'd like to come out and meet us and meet you and have fun and learn more about Juneteenth and celebrate as a part of the West Bloomfield community.
Absolutely. And thank you again for joining us right here on the Splash Live. Member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force and resident West Bloomfield, Daryl Reed, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being with you this morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another great guest joining us here on the Splash to talk about great things and his experience. And it's always interesting to find out when different people find out about Juneteenth. What would your story be about when you found out about it?
Actually, when Daryl was talking about when he found out, I was actually in Dallas, Texas for a conference. And I was in the taxi, and he had the radio on, and he started talking about, the radio commentator was talking about the Juneteenth celebrations. I was like, said to myself, what is that? I need to learn more. And, you know, it's sad. It's a sad reality that we are just now learning so much more about Juneteenth, or that it has gained so much light has been shed on Juneteenth. And so I was an adult, actually, when I found out about it. And it was so memorable because I remember riding in that taxi, going from the airport to the hotel, and hearing about it on the radio station.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah,
Yes.
we all have our own story when it comes to when we found out about Juneteenth. I'll share mine later, but right now we actually want to get back to one of our reporters, the Splash Live reporter, Jake Schaff, live at the Recreation Activity Center, who has a special guest with us joining us on the Splash.
Kevin, I scream, you scream, we all scream for fun and excitement at the Juneteenth Jamboree, as well as ice cream. And joining me right now is the official ice cream sponsor of the Juneteenth Jamboree with 44 Scoops, Renee Andrews. Renee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, obviously, with a big event like this, what motivated you to donate your services to the Juneteenth Jamboree this year?
Well, I'm just really excited to be a part of this Juneteenth celebration. I think it's a very important holiday that we remember the history and what Juneteenth stands for. And what better way to celebrate than with ice cream?
Absolutely. Ice cream absolutely makes everything even better. And how do you feel about being such an important part of a big community event?
You know, I feel really excited. West Bloomfield is such a diverse community. And I think it's just really important to be a part of this today. And they asked me and I said yes. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Now, with ice cream, we've got your standard flavors. We've got your vanilla, we've got your strawberry, your chocolate. Are there any special flavors we might be expecting today?
So I do know the kids love Superman. So I made sure to have Superman on deck. And then I also have a non-dairy option, raspberry lemon. And a lot of people like it. It's a big hit.
Absolutely. Sounds delicious. And how do you think your role as a business owner has impacted your viewpoint of this event and has got you inspired to join us?
Well, you know, ice cream just brings people together, whether it's people, you know, young kids or older adults. It brings them all together. So I think ice cream is a great way to just continue to bring people together on this Juneteenth celebration. Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And what does Juneteenth mean to you personally? Why is it important for you to be here today?
You know, I love diversity. I stand for diversity and inclusion. So I just think celebrating Juneteenth is just very important to me to continue that through my business and through my life to celebrate diversity.
Absolutely. Renee, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. See you guys.
A lot of great stuff. Still so many exciting people here for an exciting event. Kevin?
Yes, thank you again for that interview and for that information. Jake Schaff out there on Location Recreation Activity Center with 44 Scoops owner and a sponsor of the Juneteenth and Jamboree, Renee Andrus. Thank you so much for that information. Seems so good to have some great ice cream on what's expected to be a great hot day also. A nice way to keep cool, right?
It would be great to have some ice cream on set right here. Renee,
I know, right?
my favorite is strawberry.
I know, right? Yeah, whatever works. I like some vanilla. I'll take some vanilla whenever we can. We'll try to make sure we stop by and grab a couple scoops also. So, yeah, like we were talking about, Juneteenth is a very, very special day within the African American and Black community. I found out about it at a young age because it's actually on my birthday. So I kind of
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So I wanted to find out what day was special to my day, as everybody was looking for holidays, and I found it out at such an early age and was wondering why it wasn't celebrated, and to find out that we later on recognized it as a federal holiday. So it's a beautiful thing, and I hate to make it about, my birthday, but it's more about Juneteenth, and that's how I found out about Juneteenth and its history there itself. So everybody has their story behind that.
So you were doing your own research.
At a young age.
That's an awesome
Incredible,
thing.
right?
Yes.
Incredible,
yes.
right? So we love to keep you updated on everything that's going on right here on the Splash Live. And you'll never miss the action across our community on our website or social media, by the way. So you can watch everything again on our website, civiccentertv.com. You can also tune in on Facebook, Civic Center TV 15, YouTube, Civic Center TV, AT&T, Channel 99, and Comcast, Channel 15 also. So thank you again. You can see it on our screen, Civic Center TV. If you have the opportunity to scan that barcode, or that QR code, I should say, right there on your screen to get linked in with everything that we have going on as well. And we have more information, more things going on in West Bloomfield specifically, including one of our reporters, Thais Leverett, reporting live at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, but we will get to her very, very soon. We are live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh, and we appreciate you for being here. Joining me in the studio, our guest co-host for today, Executive Director of the Educational Equity and Inclusion for West Bloomfield Schools, Sonia James. Thank you for being here today again.
It's been an awesome morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely, and a lot of people we've been talking to lately, as a matter of fact, and we're going straight to the West Bloomfield Township Public Library to join the Splash Live's very own Thais Leverett with a special guest.
Thank you. We are here in the youth activities area of the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. We've got Emily Tobin here with us, and she's the community engagement librarian. We're excited about the partnership, being able to celebrate Juneteenth with you all from the library. We appreciate your support. So Emily, tell us a little bit more about what will be happening at the library today.
So the library is open regular hours today, and we have two special Juneteenth programs, one for youth and one for adult. The youth program is at 11 a.m. this morning. It will take place in our meeting room. And we have Miss Gwen, a Juneteenth storyteller, to speak to the kids about the history of Juneteenth. And then afterwards, Miss Patricia will be doing some special Juneteenth crafts after the storytelling. And then at 1 p.m. for the adults, we have a professor coming in to speak about the history and importance of Juneteenth. That will be at 1 p.m. in our meeting room, and it's about an hour long lecture.
Thank you so much, Emily. Tell us a little bit more about why the library decided to get involved in this. And then beyond today, are there more resources that you can share if someone wanted to continue their education about Juneteenth?
Yes, so we decided to we're always open on Juneteenth, and we have had programs in the past. It's really fortunate for us to be able to partner with Parks and the Diversity Task Force and have something going on outside as well, because it brings more attention to the day for us and gets people to the campus, because it is an important day to remember. We also have resources. We have reading lists about Juneteenth as well that people can take home. And we do other activities throughout the year for Black History Month to support Black women with the Black Expo, with Parks and Rec. But we want to, showcase this day and bring people's attention to it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Emily. You don't want to miss the activities today at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. 11 o'clock for the kids and at 1 o'clock for everyone. So back to you, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you again, Thais. Great interview. Great information, by the way, also getting that from the West Bloomfield Public Township Library, just to kind of keep us updated on everything that's going on, the information and the resources that are also available right there if you want to take your education beyond the events that we have going on right here at the Juneteenth Jamboree, Sonia.
You know what? The library has been a great partner to not only the Diversity Task Force, but to the West Bloomfield School District. There is a plethora of resources on so many different topics. So please, everyone come out, bring the kids to learn more about Juneteenth and to hear the lecture.
Yes, we're expecting a lot of different events, a lot of different things going on for the West Bloomfield Juneteenth Jamboree. We're expecting the Motor City Dance Factory to be there to put on a performance, as well as the writing workshop, as well as the West Bloomfield High School Players Musical Theater showing up. So there's plenty to do. We already mentioned the ice cream that'll be there. And we are also broadcasting live, Civic Center TV, at both the Recreation Activity Center and the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, where you can find different activities going on throughout West Bloomfield for the Juneteenth Jamboree. Very, very special things going on. We love to celebrate everything that's going on in the history of Juneteenth right here in West Bloomfield. And we're going to get some more different perspectives regarding Juneteenth, I should say specifically, and more specifically, we're going to get the perspective of another local resident talking about Juneteenth, and it's going to be from the West Bloomfield High School musical performance perspective, I should say. And join us right here on the Splash Live, director of the West Bloomfield High School Players Musical Theater Acts, we have Art Cartwright. Thank you so much for joining us, Art.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you will be actually performing, or your group will be performing during this. Can you just talk about a little bit what we will be expecting today?
They put together a great performance talking about Juneteenth, the meaning of Juneteenth, what it means to them, what it should mean to others. And it is a great 20-minute segment that they're doing. And it's actually an excerpt from a play they did called Choices for Black History Month this past February. So it was great. It was well received, and now they're doing it was well received by the city of West Bloomfield, and so now they're doing a little. This time we put together something a little different to put a spotlight on Juneteenth.
Art, if it's anything like choices for Black History Month, I am super excited. And I must brag right now. I feel like the proud mom because Art was one of my students at when it was Orchard Lake Middle School, and I was the principal there. And just to see him come back and see this full circle and the work that he put in with the young men and women at West Bloomfield High School when they did choices, I am excited to see what you have in store for everyone today. So Art, just give us a little brief. You have some ties to West Bloomfield as a former student. How does it feel coming back to give back to the district?
It was really good seeing you. Yeah, just it had an impact on me. And having you as a principal. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, yeah. We're going in and out. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Good. Yeah, seeing you as a principal, and then coming back and seeing you again, it's been very, very fulfilling. And then seeing the kids there, so much has changed, but then some things hadn't changed, and it's been really good to connect with the students. I feel like I had inside knowledge. Had some inside knowledge that I could share with them, and they could tell that I've been through those hallways. I could understand some of the things that they have been through, and I was able to relate to them, and that's been more fulfilling than I could imagine. So it's been really cool.
And joining us right here on the Splash Live, director of the West Bloomfield High School Players Musical Theater Acts, we have Art Cartwright telling us about their performance that we're expecting at the Juneteenth Jamboree today. Can you just talk about the creative process behind building what we are expecting today?
Absolutely. I got to give love to a partner of mine, Cindy Morgan. She's a co-director, and she really put her footprint on this one. She was very, very passionate about this. And when the idea came along, we put the idea together, and she helped execute that idea. We've been rehearsing.
Think we're losing your audio a little bit in and out. Can you, if you're joining us still, Art? Yep. Go ahead. Continue, please.
Okay, got you. Sorry about that. Yep. Cindy Morgan, she's really put her footprint on it. Last week, we rehearsed, and we love the input from the kids. The kids have so much to say. I know some people. The kids do have a lot to say, a lot to share, and to share their thoughts today. So.
Yeah, okay, and thank you so much. We're losing your audio a little bit, Art, but we do appreciate you for joining us again. Just talking about what we are expecting from the performance today at the Juneteenth Jamboree, and we just want to thank you again for your time, Director of the West Bloomfield High School Players Musical Theater Acts, Art Cartwright. We appreciate you for just taking the time to explain that to us today.
So much. Thank you.
Absolutely. So that's another perspective that we're talking about, Sonia, in regards to the contributions to the culture and the diversity that we're celebrating right here on Juneteenth, including some of the acts from the West Bloomfield Players Musical Theater Act.
And I want to just give a little bit of perspective on the play and how we actually had Art come back to the district. The drama teacher at the high school, Christine Stevens, she really wanted to give our students in focus on the genre of Black theater and giving the students, our Black and Brown students, an opportunity to showcase and highlight from a different perspective that isn't atypical of what you would see at a high school. And so she reached out and sought after specifically a director who would be able to really carry that vision out And she interviewed, and when she gave me the name, I said, that sounds so familiar. And I said, I think I had Art Cartwright as a student, but more importantly, that she saw a need and it gave the students a platform to tell a story. And when I saw those students on stage and the choices, that's the title of the play, that it really just, it was just a phenomenal experience. And what I said to Art, if it's anything like Choices, I can't wait to see the power and the impact that it has on our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the power of expression through art. You know, there's different ways that you can kind of get your message off or kind of tell a story or whatever the case may be, different mediums and different genres or modes, channels. But essentially, art is usually one of those universal ways to kind of reach multiple different people, no matter, you know, what your culture background is or whatever the case may be. And everyone can take away from it what they want, but essentially, you know, you have the creator, the director, who has a message that they ultimately want to give away too. And as long as they get that across, I feel like it's a very successful and great event also.
Always.
Yes,
always.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that means we are expecting so much today at the Juneteenth Jamboree in West Bloomfield. We should say everything from ice cream to music to live performance to educational workshops, and it'll be everywhere between the Recreation Activity Center and the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, all right here at the Juneteenth in the WB, I should say, excuse me. We have so much more to talk about, and we have our own reporters, the Splash Live's very own Jake Schaff and Thais Leverett, reporting live at both locations. And as of right now, how are we looking right now at the Recreation Activity Center, Tyler?
Well, I'm Jake. I'm not Tyler, but I will answer to whatever you call
Jake,
me. Thank you, Kev. No problem, no problem. It's a lot of great stuff coming up. As I mentioned earlier, the stage is set. There's going to be great dance performances, theater performances. We're going to have 44 scoops here in just a little bit. A lot of great stuff for the community. A lot of great stuff for everyone to have a lot of fun today.
Absolutely. A lot of great information, too, by the way, Jakes. My apologies for
No
that.
worries.
But, yes, great interviews, by the way, great information and perspective from both the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force all the way to the ice cream that will be served from 44 Scoops. And then talking about what's going on at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Thais Leverett, great information. How's the scene looking where you are now?
Thanks. Right now, as you can see behind me, it's not too crowded just yet, but we're waiting and excited for the community to start coming in the doors to learn more about Juneteenth, participate in the story time for the kids, the craft activities, and the lecture that we'll have later on this afternoon. So also looking forward to some great activities in the library.
Oh, yeah. And it's great that, you know, you get to stay inside with the cool AC on such a great day. Jake Schaff,
absolutely,
out enjoying the great outdoors. But either way, whether you're outdoors or indoors, it'll be a great way to celebrate Juneteenth right here in the community. And we will have the entire broadcast of everything going on right here on Civic Center TV. And make sure you are tuned in on our website, civiccentertv.com. You can watch everything, all the segments from the program, as well as check it out on our Facebook, Civic Center TV 15, and on YouTube, Civic Center TV as well. A lot going on right here, Civic Center TV and the Splash Live. We want to thank everyone who joined us today on Juneteenth and all of the great information that they gave out, Sonia. And again, I want to thank you for joining us right here for everything that we talked about. Any other thing that you want to give out to the community that you want to talk about before we kind of wrap things up?
I just want us to show up and show out in big numbers, because there was a lot of planning put into this, and there's a lot of great activities. It's a family event. It's a community event. So West Bloomfield community, come on out to the Juneteenth Jamboree.
Absolutely. And we got a lot of people to thank today. today for this very, very special broadcast. Thank you to our entire staff for joining us and for all of our guests for joining us on this live special broadcast, Juneteenth Jamboree in West Bloomfield. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh, also joined by our special guest, Executive Director for the Educational Equity and Inclusion for West Bloomfield Schools, Sonia James. We are live, local, and social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.